thank you so much for inviting me to this webinar organized by LexDita. And it's also a privilege to be speaking after great speakers. I'll be looking at the title, Understanding Traditional Knowledge in the Era of Artificial Intelligence. So what is traditional knowledge? Imagine traditional knowledge is a tree whose roots are deep into the earth and the branches are reaching across generations. Each leaf is a story, a remedy, a tradition. This is how I view traditional knowledge facing the winds of artificial intelligence. So our journey today will cover what traditional knowledge is, its evolution, the policies supporting it, challenges and opportunities in this AI era, and the India's game-changing traditional knowledge digital library. So traditional knowledge is the heartbeat of communities, and it's the wisdom that is passed down orally, like stories told around, a fireplace. These are stories that guide everything from healing with plants to preserving seeds. And therefore, traditional knowledge is holistic as it weaves spiritual beliefs, ecological, and social traditions. Globally, 70% of India's population relies on traditional knowledge for healthcare. And traditional knowledge is not just history. It is a living, breathing part of our identity. Thank you. We are now looking at the phases of traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge has indeed evolved, as you can see. We have the agrarian era, we have the industrial era, the knowledge economy era, and the artificial intelligence era. Now, in the agrarian era, traditional knowledge was the backbone of survival, where farmers used it to predict the weather, healers used it to craft remedies, and then followed later was the industrial era, where machines overshadowed this wisdom. Industrialization era was one that was filled with mechanization. And now in the knowledge economy, traditional knowledge was also ignored in research laboratories. In this era of artificial intelligence, traditional knowledge is becoming digital data, but the catch is that there's increased risk as artificial intelligence can scrap this knowledge without permission, without consent. And we see that over 30% of modern medicine comes from traditional knowledge, yet communities often lose out. So in this evolution of artificial intelligence, it demands that we act to protect traditional knowledge. Next slide, please. So are there policy interventions to help in this issue? Yeah, I'm proud that Kenya has a separate act of 2016 for traditional knowledge and cultural expressions for the protection of traditional knowledge, and it requires consent and benefit sharing, and this ensures that communities profit from their knowledge. Equally, South Africa has its Biodiversity Act with access and benefit sharing. And regionally, we have the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, that is in Africa, which has its Swakopmund Protocol for the protection of traditional knowledge and folklore. And most recently, last year, we saw the WIPO Treaty adopted in May 2024, which is a game changer because it mandates patent applicants to disclose the origin of genetic resources and associated traditional knowledge. And this is good because it's towards a fight, to fight biopiracy. And an example of biopiracy is the Hoodia plant, which is associated or belonging to the San people in the South African region, that's the global South, that was patented without their consent. And therefore, with such policies intervene to ensure that there's fairness for such communities and also benefit sharing. Next slide, please. Now, with the rise of artificial intelligence, we see that it's reshaping research, creativity, and decision making. Because artificial intelligence depends on massive data, often scrapped indiscriminately, which raises ethical issues and ownership questions. In this AI age, traditional knowledge faces big challenges, such as, next slide, please, such as ownership, Now, who owns the TK communities? Who owns the traditional knowledge? Is it the community or the state or the corporations? And on issues of documentation and exploitation, we see that there's risk of misappropriation, especially during digitization. So in as much as AI is here, it has both, it's a double-edged sword. I'd say it's a double-edged sword. It's come with the goods and the bads. It's good to digitize, but the risk is that there's a high risk of misappropriation without consent, and the communities at large also do not benefit from it. And under exploitation, you know that AI models, because they are trained on data, they extract information from large data sets, and traditional knowledge is not excluded. And on opacity, there's lack of transparency in AI systems. So these are some of the challenges that we are having. And the quote we have today is that when data is knowledge and knowledge is currency, who gets paid? So that's just a food for thought. Next slide, please. So in as much as we have challenges, and amidst challenges, there are opportunities. And now what can be done? What can be done to protect this traditional knowledge and the AI that has come to, scrap information? So what can be done about these challenges is that we need to develop sui generis laws. And these are special legal systems which are uniquely designed to protect traditional knowledge, especially in the age of AI. So such laws should include clauses that directly address how traditional knowledge is used, stored, shared by the AI systems. Secondly, we should integrate and adopt the CARE principles. And this means that innovation must serve the collective, the respect community requires, the authority the community has to uphold responsibility and be grounded in ethics. And lastly, it is important as holders of this knowledge to push for transparency. If AI models are trained on traditional knowledge, communities must know and have a say. Innovation must be ethical, inclusive, and ancestral. Next slide. So we are looking at a perfect example of the India's traditional knowledge digital library. And I'm really inspired by this, as this library holds 454,000 formulations from Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Yoga. And it's important to know that this digital library has been translated into 5 languages, and this is to curb issues of biopiracy. Through this traditional knowledge digital library, 324 patents applications globally have been stopped. Some have been amended. For example, the turmeric patent in the US, and this has saved millions in legal costs by making traditional knowledge accessible to patent offices. Traditional knowledge ensures fairness. So the WIPO Treaty builds on this, and it encourages global databases to be established, just as India has given us the best example, and in fact, one in the whole world. Next slide, please. Yeah, I believe I'd already spoken about what needs to be done and why we need to do it, to develop the sui generis clause with AI-specific clauses, and of course to integrate the collective benefit authority, responsibility and ethics principle into mandate transparency in AI models using traditional knowledge. Doing this will enable us to prevent the misappropriation of traditional knowledge. Next slide. So, as the holders of traditional knowledge, so if we participate in data governance, so it should not just be about protecting traditional knowledge, but we should also talk about how the traditional knowledge holders benefit from it. So as traditional knowledge holders, we can have a seat at the table in AI governance frameworks, as this will shape how knowledge is used. Further, traditional knowledge holders can negotiate benefit sharing agreements. And this means that if a company profits from such knowledge, the community shares in those benefits. Building digital knowledge repositories with access control is also important. South Africa has a national recordal system which offers secure controlled access. And we've also seen India's perfect example of traditional knowledge digital library. And therefore, as digital IP literacy is vital for communities, such communities must understand their rights in the digital economy. And as we have seen again, India's traditional knowledge library is proof that this is possible. And therefore, we are urged to replicate these models and scale the benefits of such repositories. Next slide. So as I finish my presentation, picture a vibrant tapestry. Each thread that is a piece of traditional knowledge that is woven by communities worldwide. And include policies such as the WIPO Treaty, the regional treaties, and the various national laws and tools, such as the India's Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, which strengthen this tapestry. So, and such tapestry ensures that AI respects our heritage. I believe that we can empower communities with fair laws and digital vaults which help protect traditional knowledge for future generations. Imagine indigenous peoples who are just 6% of the world safeguard 80% of biodiversity. And therefore, let us honor their wisdom in safeguarding this traditional knowledge. Let us respect their traditional knowledge. Thank you for joining and for listening to me.